It is just a matter of time until Anthony Martial finally leaves Manchester United. But as he goes, the question is, who are the strikers Manchester United will be looking at to replace him? I've got three of them for you. My name is Webb. Welcome to the hotspot. Let's get them. I'll start off with one. He's not really a striker. He's a forward, plays mostly off the right wing. His name is Doniel Malen. He's a 24-year-old Dutch player currently plying his trade with Borussia Dortmund in Germany. And what a player. He's a bit different, so fast and pacey and energetic. He's only 24. He's got a physique about him. He scores goals. He assists them as well. In the Bundesliga this season, he has played 13 games and scored 4 goals from the right wing. So he's an exciting player to see. Clearly, if we didn't have Anthony, on whom we had spent 85 million pounds a couple of seasons before, for me would be the right player for Manchester United to go for, especially to bring a new dimension on the right wing because he's more exciting, but also he's a bit busy. He's roaming. He can come in and go back and rush back. He's so powerful. And you want that kind of energy around Rasmus Højlund, given the kind of player he is and his positioning. But for me, Malen, who could be priced at about 60 million euros or thereabout, that's his market value. I think good player, but not the one for United because for me, he's not exactly a striker. And also, you don't expect United to spend more on a winger. We need someone who is going to be getting the goals, not someone who will be setting up the goals. So, in terms of wingers, we perhaps have a few that can work decently. So, I would, for me, put him out as, yeah, he's good, but not the one for me for us to go for in January. Number two, Timo Werner. Now, we've spoken about this one. Werner has been tested, perhaps not proven exactly in the Premier League when he played for Chelsea, and things didn't go well, only for him to go back to RB Leipzig a few seasons later, after having not a successful spell in England. But he's still one of those Man United is being linked with because he's a finisher. He's a bit proven, like I said. He's young. His value could be between 30 and 50 million euros from Red Bull Leipzig. But besides the valuation, for me, I see a player who is mature. Of course, he's 27. That's a bit of maturity. And when you talk about uh, someone who is going to come and offer some little bit of guidance to Rasmus Højlund, because that should be, I think, an ultimate reason for whichever player we zero down to as the striker who is going to come in and be there together with Rasmus Højlund. But I think whereas his age is good, and he has got the goals. The Premier League did not really receive him so well. Of course, the setting of Chelsea is different from that of Man United, and you obviously say maybe you can gamble, on him. Say maybe he can go on and get the goals at Man United given our setup. But again, what's so special about this United? I don't think our United looks better than the Chelsea that Timo Werner failed in. So whereas he's there and is relatively cheap, 20 to 50 million euros is relatively cheap. His contract that he has currently at RB Leipzig ends in 2026. By the way, Doniel Malen's contract as well ends in 2026. But and that would also make it difficult for us to get him in Jan. But for Werner, he himself wants to leave RB Leipzig. He wants to push out. He feels that after going on and attracting a team like Chelsea, it didn't go well. He thinks he has got a point to prove in the Premier League. So that gives him a bit of hunger that he would want it to work if he returned. Because the truth is, he was at some point the hottest striker in the world. Do I think United should be going to RB Leipzig to try and sign Timo Werner? Maybe they should if they fail to get this number one option, who for me is the one striker Manchester United should definitely go for this January to come and replace Anthony Martial. His name is Serhou Guirassy. Serhou Guirassy is a 27-year-old Guinean player who, for me, is different. He's first of all tall, he's, he's cheap, he's available in January. His contract says he can be bought in January, and he has a buyout clause of just about 15 million pounds. Now, you might say, why is this? If he's too good, why is he that cheap? Probably it is because of the team he's in, but also his profile. He hasn't played for the biggest clubs in the world, and a team like VfB Stuttgart, you don't think would have expected they would have such a top striker coming from Africa. So for me, I think his price tag waters down his abilities a bit, but seeing how he plays, the kind of nature of goals he scores from the spot, from from looping over people, from from taking shots, from calmly positioning himself, I feel like at 27 he's the right player to come out there and try to push Rasmus Højlund. If anything, whereas this guy, and by in terms of height, he's close to Højlund. He's I think 6'3". So I feel like he's a different striker. He's not. There's a certain anonymity about him. He's not one you'd think many defenders in the Premier League will know so much about. Whereas he's the second top scorer in the Bundesliga currently, behind Harry Kane. He's not your main guy that people would go to sleep and think about googling or trying to watch his videos. He's got a certain anonymity about him that is good. So for me, I feel that he's the perfect player for Man United to go for now, because he would be a cheap gamble. He will definitely be a gamble, but it is a justified gamble. He's cheap and is available in Jan. So if United does not have money, which we don't, obviously, unless we are going to sell so many of our players, go for him and bring him there, because you don't actually want a, a top already proven striker for United now. You want someone a little older, more mature than Højlund, because Højlund has got the potential to be top and world class in a few seasons if he has got the right examples and the right person pushing him. Definitely, Martial, like we all agree, was never that person, but this Guinean guy, Serhou Guirassy, can be that guy who can push. I think confidently that he can actually be the starting striker ahead of Rasmus Højlund at some point. He has got those goals. He has got that kind of goals in him, but also he has got the physique to manage the Premier League. He's the kind of number 9 you think can manage the Premier League, because the Premier League is quite hard. We've got some hard guys in there in the Premier League who I think can really humble even the biggest of strikers. But you would see a person with a big body like Højlund, like I said, is 6'3" as well. He's close to Højlund's size. A person with that kind of physique will certainly give defenses problems, and he gives a different dimension. He can run out wide and get the ball and cut in. He can head the ball. He's good for me. He can also score penalties as well. So for me, he's the best option for Manchester United to bring in quickly in Jan and replace Rasmus Højlund. He's available. He would definitely want to join Manchester United. All the 3 players I've told you, Doniel, Malen, has been linked to Liverpool as well. Liverpool wants him apparently for Borussia Dortmund. He's a bit pricey. I wouldn't go for him. He's not a number 9. He doesn't really solve a big problem for us. Then for Timo Werner, a bit of confusion with him. Serhou Guirassy, teams like Roma, West Ham, I think Newcastle spoke about him as well, and a few Italian clubs are the ones who spoke about him. No main Premier League club has shifted their attention to him. United should be pouncing on him now. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. Let me know who you think is the right striker to replace Anthony Martial.